Habibi, tell me, how was your day? Broody, I failed my presentation today, but it gives me hope to become better tomorrow. Success may have an ugly face. That's the clap right there. All right. What is innovation? That is the question.
What is innovation? So let's go by a definition first, right? The practical implementation of ideas that result in the introduction of new goods or services. So innovation, it's related to invention, but innovation's more apt to involve the practical implementation of an invention to make a meaningful impact or market on a market or society. So, innovation isn't just the creation of something new, it's also how it is implemented and how it's used effectively within a new system, for a product or service.
This is a great thing to keep in mind. So, historically, so when I think about something, right? So, where does innovation come from? And how did people decide, okay, well, this is something that we need, or was it just some kind of like random thought that somebody came up with and now we have innovation as we have it these days?
Well, what do they say? Necessity is the mother of invention, right? So the things we need the most, we're going to invent new things to get them. Whether it's domestication of animals because we needed food more readily and to grow our population. And so the invention was keeping these animals in a pen and breeding them. The innovation was implementing that system on an ongoing basis. So we invent something and then we implement it to fulfill our needs as we evolve. So, what happens when we have all the food that we need and we have all the shelter and the clothing, when our basic levels are met, where does innovation then happen? Is it in the quality of life? Is that, the next step after we meet our ongoing needs? I think that was, our first world kind of level problem, right? What next can we innovate?
Exactly. So, yeah, that seems like a little bit of, what do we say, neomania, that's the term. When you are continuously trying to achieve something new, right? What I would say is that at some point, that's my personal opinion, you would like to be still and appreciate what you have right now, right? However, what can also happen is the optimization of what you have right now before, let's say, you move on to something new. So, because, at least in my life experience, what happens a lot of the time is that, okay, well, some process is going in my, let's say, daily situations, right? So, but then what happens next is that this process becomes suboptimal. Maybe it suffers because of the external stressors of the environment and then whatever life throws your way, so to say, right? So, and in this situation, what I would think next before taking up another new thing and then adding that to my to-do list in life, let's say I would like to tinker with what I have right now and try to optimize that, right? So in this regard, can I use innovation mindset and thinking somehow?
Can you use innovation mindset and thinking? I think one of the aspects of pursuing innovation and pursuing new concepts or ideas, we see more of a methodology in design thinking and the iterative process that has become more fruitful from the tech sector when you're going through iterative process of trying something on a small level to see if it works instead of building out something that takes more time and energy And when you start to implement it, you've already spent too much money or time or effort, and you're finding out that this overly produced concept, good or service, doesn't actually work with the time frame or the needs that are currently there. So the innovation process, I think, is most important for not only when you're identifying a need or a new idea, but how that new idea can start to filter in to the everyday life process. And the smaller trials and quicker trials to build on what works and to take away what doesn't work. I start to see the innovative process as one of the most important aspects of the umbrella concept of innovation.
Exactly. That brings us to the next point, right? So we have this innovation idea, which can be applied to, let's say, some sort of companies, and a person who is, let's say, an aspiring entrepreneur who wants to introduce something new to the world, or maybe enhance the current process, because there is a bunch of problems, to be honest, right? If we think about that around us, and those problems can be solved or they can be alleviated at the very least. The regular person who, let's say, is not an innovator can also struggle with their problems, whatever they might be, right? So the question I'm thinking about, how can we sort of motivate a regular person, not that I have anything against regular people, we're all kind of regular and we try to pursue our happinesses, let's put it that way, to become less regular, right? And then maybe, just maybe, there is something that we can loan or borrow from the innovative thinking of entrepreneurs, and then put it or add it, implement it in the lives of just regular people who, let's say, do some kind of like 9-to-5 jobs, and they are happy with that, right? So, but how can they use the innovative thinking? Why do they need to maybe care about this at the first place? To potentially enhance their lives. Maybe that's why they need to think about that in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I think it all does start with what you can envision, or what you've seen other people do that you want.
Yes.
Right? And okay, if you're happy, you're 9 to 5, your work is fulfilling, you have a routine, you spend your time with your family, or you do your activities, and that's fulfilling for you, then great. You've figured it out, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But if there's something that you feel as though is missing and something that you want, how do you start envisioning that, first of all? And how do you see what your new vision of your life could be? How does that fit into your daily activities? Taking a look at what you do now and what small changes you have to make along the way in order to actually implement that new life perspective or sequence of activities. It's going to be partly trial and error, like you said, because we're going to have life circumstances get thrown at us, but us trying to forecast those life circumstances and avoid those hurdles, I think, is part of that self-innovative process as well.
Okay, so yeah, this is a good point. So I think one of the key elements, looks like, in innovation is the iterative approach.
Iterative approach.
Iterations. And then this is something that, for example, I in my undergraduate career heard from the computer science class, to be honest. And then, if I'm right, then the way I think about this, so sometimes I tend to see things in the black and white fashion, but iterations, that's what we can easily apply to a lot of processes in life. Let's say I'm a regular person and I'm trying to improve my morning routine, let's say, right? So, for instance, I start my work at 9 a.m. and then I used to wake up at perhaps 7:45 in the morning, and now I'm rushing out of the door after just having brewed a little bit of coffee or tea, and then I barely have enough time to brush my teeth and perhaps do some stretching, right, for like 5 minutes or something like that. So the way I see innovative thinking applied to my life in this scenario is that maybe I can apply one iteration at a time, right? And the first iteration would be wake up 15 minutes earlier, such as 7:30. Okay, now I won 15 minutes of time, which I can spend on the second iteration in this innovation applied to my morning routine. I can maybe meditate, I can do a little bit of squats and push-ups, and perhaps play with the cat or the dog or the fish, something like that. So yeah, that would be like my straight up thinking about how to implement innovation in your life. What else can we advise perhaps to the people who embark on the implementation of the innovative mindset in their day-to-day life?
You know, so I'm going to go the learning route on this one. And you know, we're in the university setting and we're working with students, and we're seeing that a lot of the times our students are going through their curriculum, they're going through their courses, and they're almost waiting to do what they want to do after they perform the task that they're told to do. Okay? So flipping that on its head, I think that real innovation comes from what you are truly curious about. What actually do you want to know? What makes your brain fire? When you say, what do you want to learn about? What do you want to think about? What do you want to actually engage in? And asking yourself that deeper question of, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? You know, that sometimes can be a difficult question to ask yourself, but once you do that self-audit and you start to find the things you are most curious about, that's when your brain is going to fire the most. And then that's when you're going to want to dig deeper into any given topic, and you're going to have more of a passion about what you're involving yourself in. So I think that when we talk about innovation, in order to really make it a reality, it truly has to be something that you care about and that you're truly interested in, more so than what you are required to do. Because I think we get a lot of requirements put on us without analyzing, okay, why is this an expectation for me? What are my expectations for the world around me that I want to create? So that curiosity factor, I think, is a really important step in the self-innovation process.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I was just thinking about, okay, so we have those questions, right, that we can ask. So that seems to be something along the lines of, let's say, mindset, right? So, but what about maybe some kind of like tangible tools that innovators can use? So the brain isn't self, and the mind can be tools that help you use the innovation and implement it in your life. So, but is there like anything else that can be added in terms of the skills or character traits? Maybe it's going to be good old discipline, for example, that helps you to fuel the innovation and keep it going in your life on a consistent basis.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, discipline is absolutely a factor, and I'm going to throw out a factor of exploration also. Because I think sometimes if we haven't experimented or explored, then we become in a fixed mindset. And innovation happens in a growth mindset. So when we think neurobiologically, we tend to use certain pathways and form neurological pathways with our routine. Introducing additional stimuli is going to cross our circuits in a way that involve the different hemispheres of our brain to interact. For instance, yes, health and wellness, and activity, and sunshine, and going swimming. But then also, if you haven't been listening to music, maybe you only listen to music on the radio, trying to pick up an instrument, whether you're going to be a musician or not, it doesn't matter, but you actively trying to play an instrument, trying to do something different than what you've traditionally done, is going to stimulate the innovative mindset. It's going to start working different parts of your brain. I even say start writing with your left hand if you're a right-handed person. Try and have more of a cross-hemispheric exchange in your mind to induce more of a creative, problem-solving mindset. That's one of the, I think that could be a practical tool, is literally trying something new.
Exactly. Yeah, that sounds pretty amazing. So, looks like even though you cannot quite buy innovation from a shop, for example, you can get it from yourself, right? So this is what is good about that. And for example, disciplines, so these are all known skills such as discipline or innovation, which is something kind of like more complex. But it looks like that it is all available within the person, within the individual, for the growth and development.
I think we should open up an innovation shop where you can go purchase innovation.
That would be nice. So just 25 USD taxes included and the free shipping. How about that deal?
I think it's a great deal. I'll subscribe, actually.
Pretty tremendous.
Subscribe to
might
our
as well
innovation
make it
shop.
A monthly fee. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Keep hacking the life. All right. So then you can like maybe say something inspirational, so like for the outro purposes. So, yeah. So I'll clap and then you just kind of like say whatever you want to the camera.
We need to be. I like thinking about the idea of a natural philosopher, one who engages with the world around them. When we say that necessity is the mother of invention, we still need to go out into nature and try. Well, I'm going to have to restart over that one. I like to think about the natural philosopher, one who involves themselves with the world around them, actually digging in the dirt, doing the work that it takes in order to manipulate the world around us. If we think about something long enough, does it actually happen? Or do we have to change something in our external worlds in order to see the action-reaction? So when I think of a natural philosopher, somebody who gets out into a nature, whether it's a wilderness nature or a man-made nature, human-made nature, we have to see what our actions do and how they react into the world in order to see the change that we want to create. That's fun.